I like and I respect Nikki Haley. She was a good governor. She's run a good race. She made it to the playoffs. But the playoffs are over, and we need to start the Super Bowl because we have a country to take back from the hands of progressives like Joe Biden.
Is she doing a disservice to the Republican Party if she stays in this race?
Well, it's delusional right now. I do think it's selfish in a way because we need to put all of our resources behind Donald Trump. He's who Republican primary voters are nominating. He's winning resoundingly everywhere. I mean, look, she wasn't even on the ballot in Nevada, right? I don't see a path here in any way, shape, or form, but I respect her. But we need to take on Joe Biden. We need to get to the general election. There is just too much at stake. And if you look at the border and immigration, endless wars overseas, the proxy war with Iran, our nation's national security, and all these economic issues, spending, inflation, et cetera, he's the guy that can save America, and that's who Americans want.
You said you liked Nikki Haley, Congresswoman. I'm wondering, and whenever I see this stuff, I'm always curious because what people do in your home state says a lot about who you are, maybe behind the scenes. Nikki Haley is not being endorsed by any big-name politicians, yourself included, in her home state, which to me, especially after you're a successful governor there, an ambassador, that's just odd. Why is that?
Right. Well, I mean, if you're listening to your voters, then you're supporting Donald Trump here in the state of South Carolina. Down here in Charleston, he's winning by 60%. Other places around the state, he's winning by 70%. It's going to be a resounding and crushing victory. And that's why we need to look forward and pivot to the general election as soon as possible. If we're serious about saving our country, then we need to be serious about taking on Joe Biden now. There's no time to waste.
And I know that you have, in the past, I guess, you've spoken out against Donald Trump, especially after January 6th. You said, quote, his entire legacy was wiped out yesterday. We've got to start over. You said that on January 7th of 2021. So I ask you, why back him now?
Well, look, I'm the first woman to graduate from the Citadel, the military college of South Carolina. And let's be honest, politics is a blood sport. I've been very vocal when I don't see eye to eye about someone, but this is greater than me. This is greater than anything in the past with Donald Trump and I was one of the original folks on his campaign in 2016. I've supported him for a long time. This is about saving our country, and he is the man to do it. When he was president, our borders were locked down. When he was president, the economy and wages were strong. When he was president, we did not have these endless wars started by terrorism overseas. We didn't fund terrorism. We took on our adversaries. And you look at Joe Biden, the comparison, this was an easy call. The contrast could not be more stark between the two of them.
Could I just get you to, I want to get your reaction just quickly to some comments Joe Biden made yesterday about abortion and how big a role this might play in 2024. Take a listen.
The person most responsible for taking away this freedom in America is Donald Trump. Listen to what he says. Trump says he's proud that he overturned Roe v. Wade. He said, and I quote, there has to be punishment for the women exercising their reproductive freedom. He describes the Dobbs decision as a miracle, but for American women, it's a nightmare.
Congresswoman, obviously the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. It wasn't Donald Trump, but this is going to be an issue over the next 10 months. How important is it that Republicans finally hone their message on abortion?
Well, it's an issue that we cannot ignore. And I'm in a swing district, and in swing states, abortion is the #2 issue. Immigration, I think, will be #1 and one that we can win resoundingly on. But if we ignore abortion, we're going to have a lot of losses in the House, may not be able to flip the Senate, and it'll be a struggle for the White House. The one thing that I have heard from Donald Trump, which I haven't heard from anybody else, is how to build consensus between folks that are pro-life and pro-choice. And that is a message that we have to carry forward. And I will tell you, Joe Biden and Democrats don't want to talk about what their limitations are. But Donald Trump has said, hey, nothing in the third trimester. If it's in the second trimester, whether you're pro-choice or pro-life, that is an area where we can all agree on. There's no gray area here. There's a lot of common ground. There's a lot of common sense. I expect him to carry that message forward. He's talked about it in the primary. And as a woman, as a survivor of rape, as someone who has advocated for women who are victims of rape and girls who are victims of incest, and understand that we cannot bury our heads in the sand over abortion. I've led on policy on this issue for women, finding that common ground. And he's been right there in the fight. He's got a good message on it. I think women will listen to it.